Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to English Café. And if you're new here, I'm really, really glad you stopped by. Because today's topic, it's not just a lesson, it's a key that unlocks real, natural English speaking. I know you've been there. You're trying so hard to memorize words, but when it's time to speak, nothing comes out. It's like your brain goes completely blank. You're searching for the right word, your mind is racing, and you just freeze. And the worst part? You know the words. You've studied them. You've written them down. But the sentence still doesn't come out right. Don't worry, I've been there too. I know exactly what that feels like. I used to think, maybe if I just learn 10 more words today, I'll finally be fluent. I filled notebooks with vocabulary. I even memorized word lists from the dictionary. But when it came time to talk to someone, or even talk to myself, silence, awkward pauses, confused thoughts, and a lot of frustration. But guess what? That method was never the problem. It's the system we were taught. The truth is, native speakers don't speak in single words. They don't build every sentence from scratch. They speak in chunks, little phrases, ready-made blocks, like, "How's it going? I'm not sure. Let me think." And that, my friend, is the secret I wish someone had told me from the beginning. You don't need more words. You need better phrases. You need chunks. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I learned about chunking, how it works, why it's powerful, and how it changed the way I speak English forever. This one shift made speaking feel natural instead of stressful. It made English feel like a real part of me, not something I was trying to remember, but something I could just use. So grab a cozy drink, maybe your notebook, and get comfortable, because we are going to learn together, step by step, how to learn in chunks, not words. And by the end of this video, you'll have real tools to use in your daily life. You'll feel lighter, more confident, and ready to speak. Let's dive deep, my beautiful friend, because this might be the moment everything changes for you. Chapter 1: Why Words Don't Work Alone. So let me take you back to the beginning of my English journey. I was super motivated. I had notebooks full of vocabulary words. Yes, just words. I remember writing down things like table, walk, beautiful, decision, important. Every day I added more and more. I thought, the more words I know, the better I'll speak. And maybe you've done the same. You study hard. You memorize words. You feel like you're learning. But then, when it's time to speak, nothing. Blank. Silence. Your brain starts searching for words, trying to build a sentence, and suddenly it all feels too difficult. And that's exactly what was happening to me. I knew so many words, but I couldn't connect them. I'd try to say something simple like, "I want to go outside," but I would panic. I would think, go, outside. Is that right? And then I'd stop speaking. I felt so frustrated. I used to ask myself, what's wrong with me? I know the words. Why can't I speak? But here's what I didn't understand back then. Words don't work alone. Native speakers don't walk around thinking one word at a time. They don't say, I go now. They say, I gotta go now. Or, I'm heading out. Or, I'll catch you later. These are not single words. These are chunks, small phrases that come together as one smooth idea. When you speak your first language, you don't build every sentence like a puzzle. You use phrases you've heard a million times. You say, how are you? I don't know. It's okay. You don't even think about grammar. You just say it. That's what English learners need to do too. Not memorize lonely words, but collect natural chunks. I realized this after months of feeling stuck. One day, I was watching a movie, and a character said, "No way," and the other replied, "I'm serious." That's when it hit me. I had never studied those exact phrases in my vocabulary book, but they sounded so natural, so real, so automatic. And I thought, why am I learning just words when real English is made of phrases like this? That was the day I started learning differently. Instead of writing serious in my notebook, I wrote the whole phrase, I'm serious. And then I wrote, no way, and you gotta be kidding me. Suddenly, everything changed. I wasn't just collecting words. I was collecting real sentences, real emotions, real English. When you learn in chunks, speaking becomes so much easier. You're not building from zero every time. You already have ready-made sentences in your head, like, I'm not sure. Let me think. That's a good idea. I'll let you know. These are like tools in your toolbox. You can take them out whenever you need them, and they work. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need thousands of chunks. Just a few can make a huge difference. Even 20 or 30 useful chunks can help you hold a conversation. You'll sound more natural. You'll think less. You'll speak more. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think. Have you ever studied a word, but still couldn't use it in real life? That's the trap of word-by-word learning. It's slow, it's stressful, and it's not how real people talk. Chunks, on the other hand, are fast, flexible, and full of life. When you learn in chunks, you're not just learning English, you're living it. So, my beautiful friend, I want you to remember this forever. Don't learn words, learn phrases, learn what real people say. That's how your English becomes natural, confident, and fluent. And trust me, once you make this shift, you'll never look at vocabulary the same way again. Ready to see how to actually find these chunks in real life? In the next chapter, I'll show you what chunks look like, how to recognize them, and why they're everywhere, even if you haven't noticed them yet. You're going to love it. Let's keep going. You're doing amazing. Chapter 2. What are chunks and why they're so powerful? Okay, my lovely friend. So now you're probably thinking, all right, chunks sound cool, but what exactly are they? Don't worry, we're going to break it down in the simplest, clearest way possible. Chunks are small groups of words that usually go together. That's it. That's the secret. They're not just random combinations. They are word families. They live together. They work as a team. For example, think of the phrase, nice to meet you. You don't say, happy to see you first time. No, you say it like one piece. Nice to meet you. That's a chunk. Here are more. What do you mean? It depends. At the same time. Let me think. I don't think so. Long time no see. Sounds good to me. You see what's happening? These are phrases you can hear all the time in movies, in conversations, in real life. They're short, they're clear, and they carry meaning together. You don't break them down word by word, you just learn them, use them, and move on. And here's the beautiful magic of chunks. They help you speak faster and more naturally. Because instead of building every sentence from zero, you're just pulling out ready-made pieces. You're not thinking, what's the right grammar? What's the perfect word? You're just speaking. And that's what fluency is. Speaking without fear, without too much thinking, and without translating in your head every 2 seconds. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you want to say this sentence. I'm not sure if I'll be free tomorrow. If you've only memorized words, your brain might go like this. I, not, know, tomorrow. Maybe. You'll feel lost and unsure. But if you know the chunk I'm not sure if, then boom, you already have the first part done. Add, I'll be free tomorrow, and suddenly, you've got a complete natural sentence, fast and easy. And guess what? This is exactly how babies learn their first language. They don't start with grammar books or word lists. They hear phrases, they hear patterns, they hear chunks, over and over again. A baby doesn't say, Mom is coming at first. They say, Mommy's coming, as one full idea, one unit. Their little brains are picking up chunks all the time, and that's what makes their speaking flow naturally. And we can do the same thing. We just have to retrain the way we learn. Instead of collecting 1,000 new words, we focus on 100 powerful real-life chunks. I'm serious, just 100. That's more than enough to help you have everyday conversations, share your thoughts, and sound confident. So here's the truth that nobody told us in school. You don't need more words. You need the right phrases. You don't need to study harder. You need to study smarter. Let me tell you what I did. I started collecting chunks from movies, podcasts, Instagram reels, anything that had real English. I would pause and write them down. Not just the word, the whole phrase. Like, I'm not sure, to be honest. That's a good point. You've got to be kidding me. I didn't catch that. Could you say that again? And you know what? After just a few weeks, I started noticing that I didn't need to translate anymore. I wasn't thinking in my native language and then changing it into English. I was just speaking, naturally, without stress. That's the power of chunks. They are not just vocabulary. They are tools. They are building blocks. And once you start using them, your English becomes more real, more like you, more like how a native speaker would say it. So the next time you watch a video or read something in English, listen for the chunks. Don't just learn mean, learn what do you mean? Don't just learn time, learn at the same time. These little packages of language are your best friends. And here's a fun thing to remember. Learning chunks is like learning music. You don't study one note, you learn the melody. You sing it as a whole, and the more you sing, the more natural it becomes. So now, my dear friend, you know what chunks are, and you know why they're powerful. But how do we find them? Where do we look? In the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how to start collecting your own personal library of chunks, ones you'll actually use in your daily life. This is where it starts getting really exciting. Let's keep going. Your English is about to level up in a big, beautiful way. Chapter 3: How Native Speakers Use Chunks, Even Without Realizing. Okay, my lovely friends, now that you know what chunks are and why they're so powerful, let me take you behind the scenes of something really cool, something that native speakers do all the time, without even thinking. Ready? They use chunks constantly, like all the time. And the funny part? They don't even realize they're doing it. Let's play a little game together. I'm going to show you a super short conversation between two friends meeting after a long time. I want you to listen carefully, not just to the words, but to the phrases, the chunks. Here we go. A. Hey, long time no see. B. I know, right? What have you been up to? A. Oh, you know. Same old, same old. B. Yeah, I hear you. Life's been crazy. A. Tell me about it. That's it. Just 5 lines. But let's pause. Can you see what's happening here? This tiny conversation is full of chunks. I'm serious. Let's look closer. Long time no see. This is a chunk, a very common greeting when you haven't seen someone in a while. What have you been up to? Another chunk. It's just a natural way to ask, what have you been doing lately? Same old, same old. Super casual chunk. It means nothing much has changed. I hear you. It means I understand you, or I feel the same. Tell me about it. A fun chunk. It means, yes, I agree. I've experienced the same thing. Now here's the fun part. None of these people are stopping to think, what's the grammar rule here? No one is saying, okay, subject, verb, auxiliary. No, they're just speaking, because these chunks live in their brain like little speech buttons. Press the button, and the phrase comes out, smooth, natural, and automatic. And here's the really exciting part. You can learn to speak the same way. Yes, even as a beginner, because when you learn chunks, you're not just learning words, you're learning real-life communication. You're learning how people actually talk, not just textbook English. Let me give you another example. Imagine someone is helping their friend decide what to wear for a party. A. What do you think about this jacket? B. It's not really my style, but if you like it, go for it. A. Fair enough. I'll try something else. B. Yeah, take your time. No rush. Again. Wow. So many beautiful chunks. What do you think about? It's not really my style. Go for it. Fair enough. Take your time. No rush. All of these are chunks that come out without effort. Native speakers aren't building these sentences one word at a time. They're just using pre-built pieces like building blocks. You've seen kids play with Lego, right? They don't shape every little piece from scratch. They grab a piece, click it into place, and build something fast. That's how chunks work in speaking. And you don't need a huge list of chunks to start speaking like this. Even with just 20 to 30 of these ready-to-use phrases, you can have smoother, more confident conversations. Let me share something personal. When I first started noticing these chunks in conversations, I felt like I had discovered a secret code. I'd watch a movie and hear, "No way," or "You've got to be kidding me," or "I'm on my way." And my eyes would light up. I'd write them down, repeat them out loud, and suddenly, boom, I could use them myself. And let me tell you something amazing. When you speak using chunks, native speakers will understand you better. Why? Because they're already used to hearing those phrases. They don't have to translate your words in their head. It feels natural to them, and it will feel natural to you too. Now, you might be wondering, but how do I know which chunks to learn? Don't worry, we'll get to that in the next chapter. But for now, I want you to start noticing. When you watch a YouTube video or a series or listen to a podcast, pause and ask yourself, did I just hear a chunk? If it sounds smooth, if it feels complete, if it's repeated often, it's probably a chunk. So here's your little mission after this video. Start listening for chunks. Don't worry about understanding every word. Just catch the phrases, catch the tone, write them down, say them out loud, repeat them until they feel natural in your mouth. Because speaking English isn't about being perfect. It's about being natural. And chunks are your shortcut to that natural flow. In the next chapter, I'll show you where to find the most useful chunks for daily life, how to collect them, and how to start practicing them in a fun, easy way. Trust me, this is the part where everything starts to click. Let's keep going. Your fluency journey is just getting started. Chapter 4. The Biggest Mistake. English learners make high again, my beautiful friends. If you've made it this far, I just want to take a moment and say, I'm really proud of you. You're not just learning English, you're learning how to learn English. And that's a huge step forward. Now, in this chapter, I want to talk about something super important. It's something I see all the time, and I've done it myself. It's the biggest mistake almost every English learner makes, and I want to help you avoid it. So, let me take you back a few years. Picture this. I was in my room every night with a notebook full of English words. I would sit there and memorize 50 words a day. Yes, 50. I thought that if I knew more words, I would magically speak better. I had lists like table, apple, design, confuse, explore, attention, modern, develop, and on and on. My notebook was full of words, but my mouth was silent. Then one day, I went to a small restaurant and I wanted to order something simple. I knew all the words: chicken, rice, salad, please, thank you. But when the waiter looked at me and said, "Hi there, what can I get for you today?" I froze. My mind went completely blank. My heart started racing, and all those words I had memorized, gone. They were sitting somewhere in my notebook, but not in my mouth. I just smiled awkwardly and pointed at the menu. That day changed everything for me, because I realized this: knowing words is not the same as speaking English. Let me say that again. Knowing words is not the same as speaking English. Here's the mistake we all make. We treat English like a school subject. We think we have to learn it the same way we learned history or science: study, memorize, test. But language isn't a subject. Language is a tool. It's something you use. It's something you do. And that means if you want to speak, you need to practice speaking, not just memorizing. Now here's the magic truth I discovered later. If you learn chunks, not words, you don't freeze when it's time to speak. You don't start building sentences from zero like a math puzzle. You just use a ready-made phrase. It's like pulling a full sentence from your brain, already cooked and ready to serve. So instead of memorizing chicken, salad, and please, what if you just learned the chunk? I'd like the chicken salad, please. Boom. That's one phrase. You can use it again and again, anywhere in the world. Instead of memorizing can I go to the bathroom, just learn, can I use the bathroom, please? One smooth phrase. It works every time. Chunks remove the pressure. They remove the fear. Because you don't have to build everything from scratch. You're just using what you already practiced. It's comforting. It's powerful. And honestly, it feels amazing. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to speak English and your brain was like, I know this word, but I don't know how to say it in a sentence? That's the sign right there. That's the moment when chunk learning could change everything for you. When you focus only on grammar and vocabulary lists, your brain gets overwhelmed. It's trying to solve a puzzle with too many pieces. But when you focus on useful chunks, everyday phrases that native speakers use, you start to feel the language. And when you feel it, you can speak it. I'll give you one more personal example. I used to memorize verbs like agree, disagree, suggest, recommend. But when someone asked me, what do you think about this idea? I couldn't answer. I was thinking, okay, verb, subject, maybe I should say, I recommend to do that? But that's not how people talk. What I should have learned was the chunk. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Or, I'm not so sure about that. Simple, real, natural. Once I started focusing on phrases, not words, everything changed. I could finally have conversations without translating in my head. I could respond quickly, and I sounded more fluent, even with a small vocabulary. And I want that for you. I want you to feel the joy of speaking English without fear. I want you to go to a restaurant, order food confidently. I want you to ask questions, share your opinion, and make new friends in English. And the way to do that is not by memorizing 1,000 words. It's by learning the right 100 chunks. So here's what I want you to remember. Grammar has its place. Vocabulary is important. But if your goal is to speak English, to actually use it, then focus on chunks. Chunks give you the words and the structure at the same time. They are like little language gifts you can use over and over again. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you exactly where to find the most useful chunks that real people use in real life, and how to collect them in a way that actually helps you speak. You don't need to feel stuck anymore. You're just one step away from building real fluency. Let's keep going. You're doing beautifully, and I'm so excited for what's coming next. Chapter 5. How to collect chunks from everyday English. Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome back. I just want to say, you're doing something incredible. Most people just study English, but you're learning how to live in English. That's a big difference. And today's chapter is one of my favorites because it's where things really start to come alive. Now that you know what chunks are and why they matter more than individual words, let's talk about the next step. You're probably wondering, okay, but where do I find these chunks? And I love that question because the answer is everywhere. Chunks are all around you. You just have to start listening for them. Think about this. Every time you watch a movie, scroll through YouTube, listen to a song, or even read a book, there are chunks hiding inside. Phrases that real people use in real life. Phrases that native speakers say without thinking. Your job is simple. Become a chunk hunter. Yes, that's what I call it, chunk hunting. And once you start doing it, you'll never look at English the same way again. Let me give you a simple example. I was watching a cooking video on YouTube. The chef said, "Let's go ahead and get started." And I stopped the video. I thought, wait a minute, that's a great chunk. Not just start, but go ahead and get started. That's exactly how people talk. So what did I do? I opened my notebook, my special little chunk notebook, and I wrote it down. Let's go ahead and get started. Then under it, I wrote a little note. Used when beginning something, like a lesson or task. This is how I started building my personal English toolkit, not with words, but with phrases that I heard again and again in real conversations. You can do the same. Every time you hear a new, interesting chunk, pause. Write it down. Don't worry about spelling being perfect. Don't worry if the grammar feels strange. Just collect it. Here are a few real-life examples I found in different places. From movies. You've got to be kidding me. That's not gonna happen. It is what it is. From songs. I'm feeling good. Let it go. Don't give up. From books. At the end of the day, she had no idea what was coming. He looked me right in the eye. From YouTube vlogs. I just wanted to check in. Let me show you something real quick. It's been a crazy day. Now imagine if you collected just 3 of these chunks every day. In a month, that's 90 natural phrases you can use without thinking, and each one makes you sound more like a real speaker. You start speaking in full ideas, not just words. It's amazing. Here's how I organize my chunk notebook. Feel free to copy this method or make it your own. I divide each page into 3 parts. 1. The chunk, word-for-word phrase. 2. Where I heard it, the movie, video, book, etc. 3. When I could use it, a short example sentence or situation. Let me show you a real example from my notebook. Chunk. I'm not really sure about that. Where I heard it, in a TV show when one friend disagreed with another. When to use. When someone asks your opinion and you feel uncertain. Once I have the chunk written, I repeat it a few times out loud. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure. And then I say it again when I'm walking, brushing my teeth, or thinking about something. Slowly, it becomes a part of my speaking habit. This is how fluency builds. Not by learning 10 words and hoping to mix them together like a puzzle, but by remembering full expressions that already work together. And when you use a chunk, you don't have to think about grammar. You just say it. I'll tell you a secret. This method helped me more than any textbook I ever used. Because it's real. It comes from real people, in real situations, and when you speak in chunks, people understand you more easily. You sound smoother, more confident, and more natural. And guess what? This isn't just a learning method. It's a mindset shift. You're no longer just a student. You're a language detective. Every video, every song, every movie becomes an English classroom. You're always learning, always collecting, always growing. So, my friend, your mission from now on is simple. Keep your ears open, keep your chunk notebook close, and every day catch at least one new phrase. Say it, use it, make it yours. And remember, the more chunks you collect, the less you have to translate in your head. You stop building sentences one piece at a time. Instead, you just pull out a ready-to-use chunk from your toolkit. That's how you speak English with flow. In the next chapter, I'm going to teach you how to practice your chunks the right way, so they don't just sit in your notebook, but actually come out of your mouth when you need them. Trust me, this next step is where the magic really starts to happen. Let's keep going. You're doing amazing. Chapter 6. Practice techniques to master chunks naturally. Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome back. I'm so proud of you for coming this far. By now, you know what chunks are. You know why they're more powerful than individual words. You've even started collecting them from real English all around you. But now you might be asking, how do I actually remember them? How do I make them come out of my mouth when I need them? Great question. That's exactly what this chapter is about. Practice. See, collecting chunks is like finding beautiful seashells on the beach, but practicing them? That's when you build something with those shells. That's when the real magic happens. Let me tell you something honest. I used to write down chunks in my notebook, but I didn't always use them. So, what happened? I'd forget them. Totally. And when I wanted to speak, my brain went blank. That's when I realized just collecting is not enough. We have to practice these chunks with our mouths, with our voices, out loud. So today, I want to share with you the exact techniques I used and still use to make chunks stick in my brain and come out naturally when I speak. Let's start with one of my favorites, shadowing. If you've never heard of this, it's simple. You take a short video or audio clip, maybe a movie scene or a YouTube vlog. You play it, and you speak along with it, like a shadow, not just copying words, but copying the rhythm, the tone, the flow. When they say, "You gotta be kidding me," you say it too, right after or right with them. It's fun, it's powerful, and it makes your mouth feel the language. Next, we have mirror practice. Oh, my dear friend, this is powerful. Stand in front of your mirror, look at yourself, and say your chunks out loud. Why a mirror? Because you see yourself. You see your mouth move. You hear your voice. You become aware of your facial expressions and how you're communicating. I used to do this every night. I'd take 5 chunks from my notebook, stand in front of my mirror, and say each one 3 times. For example, at the end of the day, I'm not really sure about that. That's just how it is. It felt strange at first, but over time, it made me confident. It made English feel like my own voice. Now here's a fun one. Repeat after me games. These are great for chunk memory. You play a video or audio, pause after a sentence or phrase, and repeat it out loud. That's it. But here's the trick. You do it like a game. Can you copy the tone, the speed, the emotion? If someone says, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing," can you say it with the same energy? This makes your practice fun and emotional, and emotion helps you remember. Another method I love is pause and say back. When you watch something in English, hit pause after a line and try to say the sentence from memory. Don't look. Just try. Even if you forget a word, that's okay. You're training your brain to recall chunks naturally. I did this a lot with simple shows like Friends or vloggers on YouTube. They'd say, "I just got back from work. I'm so tired." I'd pause and say, "I just got back from work. I'm so tired." Then I'd write it in my notebook and say it again later. Now here's something that changed everything for me. Chunk cards. I made little flashcards with my favorite phrases. 1 chunk per card. On the front, the chunk. On the back, a short example sentence. For example, front. I'm not really into. Back. I'm not really into action movies. Every day, I'd take 5 or 6 cards and read them out loud. Then I'd make up my own examples. I'm not really into coffee. I'm not really into sports. I'm not really into drama. The repetition made it automatic, and because it was short and simple, I could do it every day. And of course, there's role play. This one is so much fun. Pretend you're in a situation, like ordering food, talking to a friend, or asking for help. Use your chunks as if you're having a real conversation. "Hi, can I get a coffee to go?" "Sure. What size?" "I'll have a medium, please." "Anything else?" "No, that's it. Thanks." Do this in your room. Out loud, every day. It makes speaking feel real. And when the real moment comes, you won't freeze. You've already practiced. Now, I promised you a simple 3-step routine you can try today. Here it is. Step 1. Choose 3 chunks you've heard recently. For example, "That's a good question." "I totally agree." "Let me think about it." Step 2. Say each chunk out loud 5 times. Look in the mirror. Feel the rhythm. Try different emotions. Step 3. Use each chunk in 2 different example sentences. For example, "That's a good question. I'll get back to you." "That's a good question. I don't know the answer yet." Do the same for the other chunks. This little 10-minute routine, done daily, will change your speaking. I promise. Remember, you don't need to memorize 1,000 things. You need to live with the right chunks, speak them often, and let them become a part of you. And the more you say them out loud, without fear, without pressure, the more fluent, fast, and natural you'll become. So, my beautiful friends, if this video gave you even one aha moment, please give it a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach more amazing learners like you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single episode of English Café. Every week, we dive deep into real, practical ways to speak English with confidence and joy. And I want you to be part of this beautiful learning family. Leave me a comment below and tell me, what's one chunk you're going to use today? It could be something simple like, "Sounds good," or I'm not sure. I'll be reading and replying to as many as I can, because I truly love hearing from you. And when you write it down, you're one step closer to owning that chunk forever. Remember, your English journey is not about perfection. It's about progress. And every chunk you learn is one more brick in the house of your fluency. So take that notebook, speak out loud, and be proud of every step you take. I'm so proud of you. You're doing something amazing for yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep speaking, keep smiling, and keep learning.